Hey women's, welcome back to my channel. And my channel. Oh my god, where are you? If I laugh, and it's not being offensive, it's just because I can barely look at sex scenes majority of the time, especially when I'm with people. I'm fine watching them by myself, reading erotic novels by myself, but when it comes to other people in the same room, I can't do it. So come with me on this journey of reading fix your attitude. I'm gonna eat the rest of my chicken. Hey, go lay down. Go lay down. You do this every time I'm busy. I don't get why he does that. Anytime I get in front of the camera, he always has to whine. Like, always has to. It's summertime. I'm gonna get back into filming. I'll have more time. I hope this, for now, will be okay for a setup. I'm at my desk. It's a lot easier. When I do vlogs, probably will sit on my bed because it's comfier. Harley made me drop my vlogging camera. So, this won't shut. It's now stuck like that, so now I can't use it. I have to take it to Best Buy, so until that gets fixed, I'm going to be doing sit-down videos. Also, if there are any squeakings, it is my chair. I am not farting, I promise. I have to just say that every time before I make a video now. I love it though. It's black and wide enough for my fat ass. Like, video-wise, probably 1 to 2 chapters, maybe 3, depending on how long they are and how long I can make this video. So I'll make this a series. Hope you enjoy it. This is going to be entertaining for me as much as you. I really... Oh, I'm not mentally prepared for this. Pull it together, Kayla. Pull it together. Alright. Opening credits. Please read warnings before reading. I'm adding this part to explicitly explain exactly what to expect from this fanfiction, mostly because I'm concerned that people are jumping into something they aren't ready for. Warnings, this is a very heavy fanfic. Please don't read if you're uncomfortable with that. No, they don't cuddle. They don't talk. They fuck. That's the point. Don't go looking for fluff. Don't go looking for soft moments. They are very few and far between. Oh boy. Also, if you hear any loud breathing, that is my dog, plus we have thunder. And you can hear the pipes. Spitting, humiliation, delayed, and ruined orgasm. Okay, let's go. Use the words dude and digits. Digits have to do with you because... Am I weird for this? Probably not, but it's okay. Okay. It is what it is. Hi, so I didn't like any of the footage. Tried really hard to fix the audio and it just did not work. I have to figure out how to fully connect my Yeti mic to my DSLR, but for now we're just gonna read it like normal. Sorry about that being super chaotic. I really apologize for that, but oh my god, fix your attitude. We're going into this all over again. Here we go. Welcome back to my channel. If I've already done my introduction, I'm sorry, but I will give you my full opinion on this full fanfiction at the end. When we summarize, we'll do a summary. I'm excited to finish this, but we got a lot of videos to go. The first chapter is called I Can't Be the Only One. It has 850.6 thousand reads and 909 favorites and 1,000 comments. The dread pulling inside of you didn't evaporate overnight, and as you dragged yourself to your post the next day, it only grew worse. Yet thankfully, I'm already messing up. You had thankfully avoided Sam by coming in early. He tried to get you to talk about what happened yesterday. But bring you. Let's get a little intimate here. Let's get a little intimate. Okay. I feel like there's hair on like right there. Okay. Starkiller was operational at all times, so the docking bay was still populated with officers and stormtroopers who were ready to retire for the night shift. You tugged at the hem of your uniform as you passed by a unit. Starkiller was surprisingly an almost professional work environment, but you couldn't help feel a bit self-conscious as one of the only female engineers on base. Sitting in front of the command shuttle, you had already felt the energy draining from your body. You pulled yourself over the I'm like moving it and trying to read. You pulled yourself over to the diagnostic terminal and started to make your way through the task that still needed to be completed for the repair. Hey, came a voice from behind you. Your heart jumped. Were you that on edge? You turned to look to the man in the eye. Sorry. Whenever I read it, I always like try to like imagine in my head like the most dramatic way possible. Like I'm not gonna survive this fan fiction. I am not. Okay. I need to focus. I need to okay. You turned to look the man in the eye. He was some officer, high-ranking too. Hi, you replied. You the second engineer? He asked, scanning your body. Pig. He crept into your face. Yes, sir, you replied, crossing your arms over your chest. May I help you? May I help you? He nodded. General Hux wants you to report to the command center at 0700 hours. An invisible fist clenched your heart. General Hux? Another nod. Yes, ma'am. You're the only one who was working on the shuttle yesterday, weren't you? He asked, looking over your shoulder at the terminal. I was. Then you're the one he wants, he replied, shrugging. It was clear that despite his rank, he wasn't told much of anything. You took your head, holding your hands up. No way. If he has questions, he'd be better off asking Gurin. He's the chief engineer, and he knows way. General Hux specifically requested your presence, the officer replied. I suggest you obey his command. He nodded his head in your direction and strutted off. I don't know why I just imagined like the most gayest strut, like walk off. But we know Disney would have never. First Disney gay character was a freaking monster. Love that representation. Anyways. Sorry for the shaking. I kind of set that down aggressively. Let's see, let's scroll up a bit so I can read. Thankfully you hadn't had the appetite to eat this morning, or else the diagnostic terminal would have been plastered with your breakfast. The fist that was clenching your heart seemed to be tightening its grip. You checked the time. It's 0700 hours. It's been 15 minutes. Nice notice, General, you grumbled with the walk to the command center. You might as well just shut down the terminal for now and make your way there. So much for coming in early, I guess. Oh, that's a mood. You powered down the terminal and gripped its sides, drawing in a breath so deep that you started yawning. Good. Yawning. Now you really look prepared to meet General Hux. You shook your head and began making your way to the command center. As you passed through the door, Sam was walking toward you, on his way to his ship. He caught your gaze and picked up his pace, calling your name. His voice had a tinge of concern. Meanwhile, you wished that there was a hole in the ground for you to disappear into.
Man, I'm starting to relate to this. I mean, I get it. We're the reader. We're supposed to relate, so this is great. It's going great so far. I'm relating. I'm like, I see. I understand. Okay. This is better than like stuff that I used to read in 2012, so I'm really intrigued. What happened yesterday? He asked, reaching out to you. You dodged his concerned touch. Look, Sam, we can talk later, okay? Sorry, I made that way too. I made that like some kind of an anime, like, stop. Let's see. You looked around and lowered your voice. General Hux wants to see me. He smiled. Really? That's great. I told you that you've been doing a great job. Not sure that's it, you replied, staring into the floor. But I'll tell you later, I promise. Sam frowned but nodded. Yeah, okay. He patted you on the shoulder. Good luck. You nodded and resumed your journey, taking in a deep breath through your nostrils to quell your quaking fingers. Duh! You came close to the command center. Your heartbeat was becoming more erratic. The chances of coming in contact with Kylo Ren was exceptionally higher here. Even working on the shuttle, you were alerted in advance before he was to use it, and you had always made yourself scarce. Here in the command center, you had no choice. You stepped up to the doors into the center, supervised by 2 stormtroopers. A tight grin spread across your face as you waited for them to let you inside. But nothing happened. You said, General Hux requested me. And you are? Replied one of those stormtroopers. The second engineer, the one who works on the command shuttle. You weren't sure if he knew you by name. Oh, the girl, he said. Your eye twitched. Yes, the girl. They stepped aside as the doors opened and you entered the command center, your legs feeling like rubber. Even this early, officers were scuttling back and forth, speaking in hushed and pressured tones to each other while they worked at their stations. Their uniforms, everyone everyone looked so crisp and clean. Their uniforms free of space, dust, and plasma grime, unlike yours. You saw someone alert Hux to your presence, and you stiffened your back. He turned to meet your gaze, and a massive heat rushed to your face and neck. At least he couldn't read your thoughts. You wouldn't want him knowing how funny you found his pinched pink face. Engineer, he said, marching toward you. General, sir, he said, nodding. My name's actually... You're the one who works on the command shuttle, yes? He was glaring you down. You cleared your throat, fighting back your indignation. Yes, sir. Yes, I do. Come with me, he said, striding off toward a room branching off at the center. Shrugging, you trailed his heels, not wanting to appear reluctant though you were. As you walked, your eyes were darting around the room, looking for any evidence of Kylo Ren. You desperately hoped against your better intuition then this meeting had nothing to do with him. General Hux shut the doors behind you, gesturing for you to have a seat at one of the tables. Eyeing him, you felt like his prey under his intense, severe stare. The second you were seated, your legs began to bounce. Oh, my legs do that. Oh shit, my phone. Sorry. Trying to release some of your nervous energy. There's an issue with your performance, engineer, he said, voice cutting the thick air. Remaining calm was paramount. Sir, he said, swallowing. It's interesting. You were selected for placement here alongside Samuel Foster. Both of you came highly recommended. Yes, sir, you replied. Mr. Foster is exceptionally skilled. Hux's expression was stone. Yes, he is. He crossed the room, keeping his eyes locked on yours. I recognize that your assignment isn't typical. You've been handed a challenge, but... General, sir, I know that I'm not good at Sam, or Mr. Foster, but I promise that if you just give me the time... That's not the issue, he said, and I advise you not to interrupt me again. He paused. I understand that you met with Kylo Ren yesterday. I'm accidentally reading chapter 2. I'll read chapter 1. Alright, going back to chapter 1, because I was tonta and I didn't do that. But the first chapter is Remember Who You Work For. It has 129,000 reads. Okay, 1.1 thousand likes and 2.6 thousand comments. Chapter 1 of Fix Your Attitude. Let's get it started. I liked the first chapter. When I read it the first time, I actually enjoyed the first chapter. I haven't been on Wattpad in a minute. Like, I used to write fanfiction, and I haven't been on it in a minute to where, like, I've read, like, a in-depth fanfic in a while, so this is, like, exciting. Let's see. Your stomach was churning as you walked to work. Being stationed at Starkiller Base was supposed to have been one of the biggest achievements of your career. Here you were, a fledgling engineer, already a few months into your assignment to operate within the elite fleets of the First Order. Of course, you felt pride, but there was another feeling that was burrowing in the back of your skull. Fear. What if you failed? What if their promotion had been an error? After all, you'd only been out of your training for a little over a year, and most engineers your age were still stuck working on the endless supply of basic TIE fighters. Of course. Oh god. Where am I? Only one other engineer in your cohort, Sam, had come with you to Starkiller. Sam caught you at the end of the corridor, fingers grazing your shoulder. You spun around, blood biting at your cheeks as you met his sky blue eyes and gleaming smile. Though you had lived in the shadow behind oh no. Oh, this knock. I forgot about this. I hate living in people's shadows. Though you had lived in his shadow, made by his success as an engineer, you had thought that he was hot since, well, forever. Hey, I haven't seen you in over a week, he said. Genuine crinkles of joy were at the corners of his eyes. Oh, I love when people have crinkles by their eyes. It just means they're happy. Like Tom Holland, he has like crinkles by his eyes because he smiles a lot, and it just shows that people are happy. Anyways, hey, he said, wanting to seem calm despite this spark igniting between your legs. Oh, there we go. Guess I've just been busy. Sam's strides fell to your pace, eyebrow raising. Busy, huh? Dread crept down your spine. There was another reason fear dominated your days at work. Yeah, you know, another command shuttle emergency. You narrowed your eyes at him. He exposed his teeth with a wide grin. Not my fault. Should have been quicker with your blaster. Your idea was rigged from the start. You knew I'd lose your little fake shootout and get settled with this stupid shuttle. How many times had Sam started off his shift with the smell of crackling communication boards? That's how the chip falls, Sam replied with a smirk. Blushing against your will, you smiled back. Uh-huh. So, Sam said, before you ask, no. You said, frowning, I've never seen him, and I want to keep it that way, okay? Sam's eyebrow shot up to his hairline. What? No way? You don't want to see him? Just once? If you want to see him so badly, you can trade assignments with me, he said, beaming at him. He laughed out loud. No way. I've heard he can read thoughts. I wouldn't want him catching mine. Your stomach was twisted in another knot. Then can you understand why I prefer him to... Then can you understand why I prefer him to stay as far away from me as possible? Sam laughed again and patted your shoulder, causing electricity to shoot through your body. You're so funny, he said. He pointed to the next turn and he pulled away from you. Here's my stop. We'll talk later. You rolled your eyes again. See ya. You watched him walk down the hall, noticing how good his butt looked in his pants and biting your lip. As you made the last leg of your journey towards the docking bay, your mind turned back to the ever-growing anxiety in your chest. The idea of having your mind read brought you unease. The stress of working on the command shuttle was as burdensome as it was irritating. Not only were you expected to keep the auxiliary and main thrusters in pristine condition, but more than once you ended up surveying an inordinate amount of damage caused to the interior panel of the seats. The budget that the chief engineer had estimated based off of last year's totals was looking thin. Today's present came in the form of deep slashes melted into the archway of the cockpit entry. You ran your fingers along the waves of the curling metal, noting that the saber strokes had managed to stay within the frame of the entrance. It'd be a simple replacement, and coordinating it wouldn't take up most of your day, so you might even get to inspect the plasma cannon that you heard whining the day before. You walked off of the ship and began jotting details into the diagnostics terminal built into the wall. As you finished up your notes, your errant mind cursed your commander. If it weren't for his abominable temper, maybe your skills might be recognized for more than cleanup. Bitterness hit your tongue as you thought about Sam receiving constant accolades for his work, while you trailed behind him with a garbage can, collecting broken machinery. A buzzing energy was picking up around you, the distant, powerful chorus of stomping boots barely registering in your ears. They were here. Phasma, Hux, and Heart racing, you turned on your hero, wanting to find something, anything to make yourself busy. Any sense of courage you thought you had was lost as you scurried into the command shuttle, hoping that it was a walkthrough and not an investigation. Unless it was an emergency, they wouldn't be taking off in a damaged ship. Deciding to entertain yourself with the cockpit, you sat down in one of the chairs and ran your hand along the panels of buttons and controls. You knew almost everything about how ships worked, but the command shuttle was a fascinating subject. It was an entirely new tier of quality. It was too bad that the craftsmanship was so frequently being revised by the tantrums of a grown man. You were wondering how anybody tolerated him. You certainly couldn't, and you didn't even know him. Jackass, he huffed. A sharp ringing ripped through your brain, a massive pressure building between your ears. It was there and then gone, followed by the sound of heavy steps onto the rampway into the ship. Your heartbeat picked up again, and you sprung from the cockpit chair and pretended to be inspecting the damage to the entrance again, though there wasn't much left to see. The footsteps grew louder, more urgent, and beads of sweat grew along your hairline. As if you had skipped through time, they stopped behind you, and you knew that it was him. It felt like 1,000 eyes were boring into your skull. You swallowed the boulder-sized lump within your throat and turned to face him, not sure what to expect. Your breath caught in your throat as you took in the sight of him. He was huge, much, much taller than you, covered in completely black robes. Even his hands were encased in leather gloves. His face was obscured by the chrome and carbon helmet that you had heard so much about, and the rumors were true. It was way scary in person. In fact, he was way scary in person. "Kylo Ren," you said. Like an absolute idiot, you snapped up straight. "Excuse me, Commander." "You're not excused," he replied, his deep synthetic voice pinging off the empty walls of the ship. You felt your heart stop in your chest, and you sucked in 10 lungfuls worth of air. "I'm sorry?" He took a step toward you, and you stepped back, your shoulders connecting with the frame you had supposedly been inspecting. "Mind sharing me with your theories of how people, what was it, tolerate me?" Even through the mask, his words were dripped with derision. "How people, you said, words garbling in the realization that he had been reading your thoughts. The ringing had been him. He knew how much you resented him, how much you feared him. Your cheeks flooded with color. Kylo Ren took another step towards you, his tall black boots echoing the pounding of your heart. Your eyes scanned his body, and you felt an energy radiating from him so thick it was nearly tangible. It was tense, furious urgency. Oh my goodness, I'm getting more tired than horny right now. Okay, I need to... Full of power. Let me continue. "That's an interesting way of putting it," he said. "I have another idea, though." You were trembling. "Yes, sir, Commander." The words felt like paper in your dry mouth. He moved closer still, and now his chest was inches from your face. A gloved hand pounded the wall next to your head, denting the metal. Your knees almost crumbled in fear. "Remember who it is that you work for." He paused, seemingly examining your wide, terrified eyes. But who knew for sure? Behind the helmet, he was imperceptible. "You are expendable. Understood?" You were a statue as you walked to the ship, waiting until you heard the final footstep on the ramp before you dared to let a breath leave your chest. "Ugh," was all you could manage to say. You wanted to complain, but at this point, you didn't even feel safe in your own mind. What is it about you that made him single you out? You were sure that you couldn't have been the only one to think unsavory thoughts about Kylo Ren. He couldn't be that sensitive. You turned your attention to the dimple he had left next to your head. Another simple repair. But your eye twitched knowing it was made just for you. You couldn't decide who you were more irritated with, Ren for causing the damage or yourself for antagonizing him. The rest of the day passed with little interruption, and you had managed to coordinate for the repair to be completed tomorrow. You heard from one of the stormtroopers as they passed that Hux had been pleased with the walkthrough. A sigh fell out of your chest. Of course, the area that Sam worked in was perfection. Meanwhile, you had your life threatened by the commander. You stopped your thought mid-complaint. You weren't sure how far the radius of his power extended, but safe was better than sorry. I need some water. Woo. My throat was dry. Get comfortable. My chair squeaking. The thought of making food yourself made your shoulders slump into the floor. You made your way to the mess hall. It was mostly empty, though you'd only gotten off an hour late. Engineers worked long hours anyway. You ignored the trays and grabbed one of the nutrient-laden concoctions left out on the line. The balls of green jelly wiggled at you as you set it on the table. Stress rolled off your back as you sat down and bit into the food. It didn't taste particularly good. Almost nothing did on Starkiller, but you needed this time alone to recharge. You couldn't stop thinking about Kylo Ren, how tall he was, the way his voice sounded, the sheer weight of power emanating from him. The influence he had was starting to make sense. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught Sam passing by the entrance of the mess hall. Heart picking up, you wobbled your hand in what was intended to be a wave. He perked up and changed his direction, steering towards you now. Excuse me. Why do you have to be so damn chipper all the time? Hi, Sam, he said. You look like you had a good day. Sam sat across from you, face splitting in a smile. It was. General Hux did a walkthrough on my team's fleet. He said he'd never seen the ships in such condition. He commended me in everything. His voice lowered. I even saw him. Kylo Ren. Like little girls gossiping. Kylo Ren. Oh, really? You said, voice trailing off. You weren't sure why you even asked. Yeah, he's even scary in person, he said, leaning in closer. His voice was a hissing whisper. He's so tall. I know, he said. I saw him too. Really? Yeah, you replied. You weren't sure you wanted to tell Sam everything that happened. He walked on the shuttle while I was working on it and told me to fix stuff. Whoa, Sam said, blue eyes illuminated with curiosity. You heard him talk? You nodded, shoving food into your mouth. You needed time to think about what to tell him. After you swallowed, you shrugged. Yeah, he's a jerk. Sam leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. Maybe he was feeling protective of his fellow engineer. What happened? You said you thought of Kylo Ren's hands slamming on the wall next to your ear, like those fucking power move shit. Like in animes when guys like reach up high and the girl's down there. Okay. Oh, this is why I shouldn't be allowed to read this stuff. I'm such a bean. I can't take anything seriously. Let's reach in here. Let's see if we get a blue one. Yes. How the quaking metal rocked your body, and his deep, altered voice. You became aware that by talking about this anymore, you were tempting him. Don't really want to talk about it. Come on, Sam said, eyebrow knitting together. You can tell me. You looked down at your food. There were only a couple bites left, but you had lost your appetite. I'm gonna head back to my room. Have a good night, you said. You slid out of your seat and tossed the remnants of your meal in the garbage. Arms folded across your chest, you marched back to your quarters, opening the lock and smashed the button to close the sliding doors the second you passed over the threshold. If only you had a sick day you can use. You would have gladly chosen to be swallowed by a black hole than continue this conversation, eyes darting to the floor. You nodded. Yes, sir, I did. Had you really pissed off Ren so much that he needed to get you in trouble? Or maybe you were getting fired. The irritation with him and yourself grew like a weed. You'd be wise to refrain from provoking him any further, Huck said. He read my thoughts, he said. Not sure what else I can do apart from slipping into a coma. Sorry. Oh, I relate. Okay. Oh, I'm relating too much to the reader, and I am the reader. Hux cocked an eyebrow. Your thoughts? I was told you were the one on the command shuttle at the time. You nodded. I was. He said. He was reading your face for any sign of deception. That is highly unusual. What do you mean? You asked, wringing your hands together. You weren't sure if this was gonna get any worse. Ren is strong with the Force, but to sense your thoughts from meters and meters away while you're surrounded by dozens of other people and not even knowing you were there? He looked past you. So dramatic. God. Your blood was humming in your ears. Your leg was about to bounce itself into the next galaxy. What was Hux talking about? You didn't choose for Ren to hear you sniping about him. God, I'm so dumb at this time. It's getting late. That's why I shouldn't film at nighttime. Um, the anxiety in your chest became too much. Excuse me, General, but I mean, I can't be the only one who has ever thought Ren was a massive prick. You're right. You're not, he replied, eyebrows raising. He seemed to be holding back something. You shrugged your shoulders. I don't see why I need to be punished for a common occurrence. Oh, I love this energy. Okay, the issue is twofold, Huck said. Firstly, Ren picked up on your bitterness without knowing you even existed. Secondly, you work on his ship. You aren't some wandering, nameless stormtrooper. For all he or I know, the next work order you produce could sabotage a mission. His clipped tone was beginning to hurt your brain. Either work out your issue with him or we'll find you a new assignment. Oh boy. No! You said louder than you intended. Sir, that won't be necessary, please. Getting fired from your first big break was something you cannot abide. Then fix your attitude with Ren, because if I don't see you reassigned, then he will. You gulped, a mixture of pride and nervous spit. Yes, sir, right away. It was a lie. You had no idea how you were going to work out your issue with Kylo Ren. As far as you were concerned, it was his issue and not yours. But to be fair, he had the power to make it your issue now too. You're dismissed, he said, his stare unyielding. Yes, sir, you mumbled, standing and rushing from the room. Your fists were balling at your sides, a red glow spreading out across your cheeks as you left the room. You had never felt so concerned and embarrassed in your entire life, and now, to think that you'd need to be watching your back constantly because of Kylo Ren, an image flew through your mind. And then Sam was getting promoted to chief engineer, his smile bright, and on his arm was some girl who was smarter and better than you in every conceivable way. Now your fists were clenching so hard that your short nails were biting your palms. Part of you wanted to hunt down Kylo Ren and give him a piece of your mind. The other part was completely content with never seeing him again, or his scary mask, or the damage from his lightsaber again for the rest of your life. Unfortunately, that part of you would not get its wish. As you walked out of the doors of the command center, you entered the direct path of Kylo Ren, his swift, powerful steps sending vibrations through the corridor. Your heart sank in your stomach and you froze. I just feel like it's just like walking and just like like a scene from like the Breakfast Club when they're like running and they like slide. That's how I imagine it. I don't know why. Kylo Ren seemed to recognize you and curbed his pace. You could feel that thousand-eye stare bearing down on your body again as he approached the door. The stormtroopers behind you, wordless, motionless, breathless. Commander Ren, you managed to choke out. He was silent, holding your gaze as he made his way to you, even though you weren't even sure you were looking at his eyes. Every muscle in your body was screaming at you to run. Whew. What are you doing here? He asked, sending a shiver up your spine. You hesitated. You weren't sure if you wanted to get Hux in trouble, but on second thought, fuck Hux. General Hux requested to speak with me, you replied. Hux? He said, head whipped towards the door. You wished you could see if he was furious or confused. Yes, sir, you replied, biting your cheeks. Maybe you could just get this over with, Commander. I was wondering if I might get to speak with you, he replied. No, he replied, and without waiting another second, walked the doors and into the command center. As they shut behind him, the two stormtroopers turned their heads to you. You sure your face was red? No, he replied, and without waiting another second, walked through the doors into the command center. As they shut behind them, the two stormtroopers turned their heads towards you. You were sure your face was red. Well, so much for that, I guess, you said, as if it would erase the past 15 seconds from their minds. See you guys later. You turned around and bolted down the hall. The idea of seeing this command shuttle again had never been so exciting. As you guys know, I'm gonna be doing this on my channel, reading this fanfiction. If there's any other fanfictions that you want me to read, comment them down below so that I can add them to my list on Wattpad. Then we can have like reading videos as well. I'd love to do that. I'm sorry for going away for so long, but I'm back. I'm gonna be posting more, especially now because TikTok is shadow banning me and they're not putting my videos out to the people that follow me, so I might as well just get back into making content on here and having a better time and not feeling censored, because the moment I talked about the Black Lives Matter movement on TikTok, my views just stopped and they stopped pushing out my content. TikTok is a Chinese app. A lot of the Chinese government is racist, so what can I expect? But I just want to say thank you guys for staying with me. I'll be making a whole video about all my information. I'll have all the links to everything down below. I'll be making a separate video about my Discord. I'm going to go into depth about talking about my Discord and how you can take a part of that and join my Discord family. But all my links are down below. Everything's down below. But I will see you guys in the next video. I really want to make this a series and have like a little playlist of these videos. I'm really excited for this. Like, this shit's gonna get spicy. Like, I'm for it. I'm so excited. I want to know what kind of videos you want to see. I've gotten videos about a room tour. I finally have like one more box to go through since I moved everything out of my room. Now I have to move it back in. I'll be making a video in the next couple weeks. So look out for that. But anything else, comment down below what you want to see. It's going to help the algorithm if you comment more on my videos. So try, I know if you don't want to like watch the whole video, you can at least comment something or whatever to help like the video flow and algorithm for my videos to get pushed out. So that would help me a lot. Also share this with your friends. I've generally missed making YouTube videos. I haven't been in the mental space to put out content that I am happy with. I didn't want to put out fake content and it not be good and give you something like half-ass. I would hate myself more than anything to give you half-ass content and be like, here you go. And it's not what I want full-heartedly. Like, I went back on some old videos and I deleted some because I could see where my mental health was like really bad, and I needed to just yeet those off of my channel. But definitely we're gonna do a video for when I hit 1 million views over all my videos, like collectively hitting 1 million views. But yeah, got a lot to do. I have a lot of video planning to do. I'm gonna be getting back on Twitch and just streaming for fun, you know, just getting back into the grind of Twitch. Oh yeah, and then I renewed my P.O. box, so that's up for another 6 months, so we're good. My P.O. box is still alive. It's expansive. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Bye guys.